So, chat, in the last stream, we did a few things. We've started by setting up a system that ultimately became somewhat redundant, and that system, of course, was the auto-clickers with the watering can to try and get crops to grow fast, and then having another auto-clicker that was used to harvest crops. And obviously, by the end of the stream, I realized that instead, the garden cloche was the far superior way to go in terms of getting a renewable source of like oak wood or wheat or any other kind of thing that we would like to grow. The only downside right now for the garden cloche is that ours is not working simply due to the fact that we do not have any water in it. Now, we could, I think, if we wanted to put down like a tank and then manually fill it with water, but it turns out there's a much easier way for us to do that in the form of the aqueous accumulator. This guy is not too difficult to make. It does require a fair bit of iron. We need a bucket, 2 gears, 1 redstone server, 1 device frame, not to be confused with the machine frame, and then 2 glass. And most of that stuff we should now have. Now, what I have done between episodes is, first of all, you'll hopefully notice that the room here is a little bit more organized now. I've moved our furnaces in from, I believe it was this compact machine, which is now acting as another little mini farm, because I did try and get quite a bit of wood between episodes. I've got a lot more of these bonsai oak cuttings. I've also spent quite a bit of time, or at least a little bit of time, trying to organize these chests a bit. So we've got like ingots and dusts in these bottom 2 chests here. We compacted most of our redstone down into redstone blocks because we've got so freaking much of it. And then we've got like seeds up here. And then these 2 chests are just kind of extra things that we have that don't really neatly fit into one of these other chests. Or if like these 2 chests down here are pretty full, so a few of these chests also have like little bits of dust and whatnot in them. But nevertheless, we should now have everything it takes to make this aqueous accumulator, which I will go ahead and bookmark as well. And the way the aqueous accumulator works is you simply place it down, place water on, or 2 source blocks of water, I should say, on 2 of the 4 available sides, or I guess 6 available sides of the aqueous accumulator, and then it will just start kind of acting as that center block that usually acts as an unlimited water source, and then you can pump that water basically wherever you like. So I'm fairly certain really all we're missing here is some redstone, and then a little bit in the way of tin, copper, and glass. Now, glass-wise, I did start smelting some up, and we do have 6 in our inventory, but I have a feeling that we are going to need a little bit more throughout the course of today's stream, because once I have the aqueous accumulator up and running, which hopefully should not take us too long, the next thing that I think I want to start working on in today's episode is the crusher. I wasn't really planning on jumping into the crusher so soon, but the crusher doesn't seem too difficult to make. There is a quest for it here in the second quest line. It's kind of the next main quest in the quest book. But the crusher is also necessary to get into some other things that I want to work on. Most importantly of those is refined storage. I would like to preferably get rid of all of these chests and replace our storage system with a refined storage system. Now, to do that, though, we have to go through and complete some of these quests, and we can complete most of these quests up to the actual controller. To get the controller, you also have to complete these quests here, which require you to get some hop graphite, I think it is, tiny pieces of diamonds, aka diamond nuggets, and then the actual parts required to make the controller. So if we want to do that, we do, of course, also have to get the crusher here, because we use the crusher to actually get the hop graphite dust there. So that's kind of, there are a few reasons why we're going to get the crusher, but it all links back together quite nicely. So glass is done. Beautiful. Do we have what it takes? I think we should have what it takes here. So copper is nice and easy. I don't know if we have any tin smelted. We do indeed. Fantastic. And then I think, chat, that is pretty much everything apart from this little redstone server there. And at least 1 more iron gear. Boom. Nice. All right. So I think what I am going to do is I'm going to move these just kind of out of the way for the time being. I don't know if I can move this. I can't. Okay, I was hoping I could just pick this up as well like I do with these blocks. Alas, that is not something I'm able to do. But I think what I'm going to do here is just place the garden cloche right about here, like that. I'm then going to place the aqueous accumulator below it, like that. We're going to have a water source block, I think, here and here. I'm then going to put the sawmill, I think, directly on the front of the garden cloche, like this, because what's going to happen is the garden cloche is going to grow our bonsai sapling, and then the twigs that come out of that are going to go straight into the sawmill and then be broken down into oakwood planks and sawdust. And I think I might even look at making our first caches. We don't necessarily need the caches, but I think they make more sense than just putting chests either side of the sawmill here. And again, they're not really that difficult to make, just a chest and some tin, and we might even have a chest lying around already. We do. Fantastic. So essentially we're going to have one on this side, and then if we get just a little bit more wood here to make another chest, we should be able to put one down on the other side as well. That way all of the also we need to smelt down some more tin, which I assume we've got quite a bit of. We do indeed. Beautiful. But yeah, it allows us to have the oak wood or the sawdust going to this one, and then the other byproduct, aka oak dust or oak wood or sawdust, going to the other one. So we will clear this, which you can do by clicking shift left click, by the way. If you don't know, you can shift left click the middle. It clears all of the inputs and outputs. We're going to have the back here be an input, so blue. We'll have the left, I guess, be red, and the right can be yellow. So hopefully now, once we get our water down, we should, and also put our power, I guess, back up there, we should have a pretty much infinite source of wood. Now, we are going into a bit of an issue with that, actually. I think we have to move this. Can I grab that from here? Oh, I can't. Okay, maybe I'm going to have to, like, build up a little bit, because if you watched the previous streams or episodes, you'll know that the power from our tiny compact machine only comes out of the bottom. So I think it's then we have to put it here and then run leadstone conduits, because we also need power in the sawmill, of course. Now, thankfully, we do already have a couple of leadstone flux ducts lying around, and I think 3 is potentially all we need. Oh no, we need 1 more, actually. Unless... No, I was hoping maybe this would charge here. It's not going to. We need at least 1 more there. So once we have more of those, we should be able to just go ahead and do something like that. So now this and this should both be receiving some kind of redstone flux. Are you going up? You are not going up. Are you going up? You are also not going up. Why is that not working? Let me move this temporarily again. Actually, I'm going to pick it up and put it back down. It might be a problem with the carry-on mod. That is interesting. Let me pop back in real quick, and let me, like, break... Actually, I guess... So the thermoelectric generators always show that they're not producing power. It says 0 RF at the top there. If I break one of these, I am well aware that we're going to suffocate soon, but I just want to see if there's actually redstone flux. Okay, so power is being taken out. Let me put that back down and bounce out real quick. Is this... Oh, it is working. Okay, maybe I just needed to pop in there for a second or something. But power is being sent now, which is fantastic. So this is pretty much good to go, chat. I'm going to go ahead and put down, I assume for now, maybe some dirt, although eventually I might replace it with some, like some slabs maybe, just to make it a little bit more, just to take up a little bit less space, you know, make it a little bit easier to move around in here. But essentially, all we're going to do is quickly grab some water from here. And the reason, by the way, that I reset this up is because it allows me to do this, and then, you know, I'm just right-clicking very fast here to get the maximum benefit and be able to get, like, a lot of wood nice and quickly, because wood, as you'll know if you've watched any of the previous streams, is one of the resources that we need a ton of, and if you're not prepared, if you don't have, like, a setup good to go, it can take a long time to actually get all of the wood that you need for, like, smelting and crafting and pickaxes and all that kind of shenanigans. So, like that should get us water in the aqueous accumulator. Now, the water is being transferred right away up into the garden cloche. That is because over here in the configuration tab, the aqueous accumulator has its top side set to output, which is fantastic. And so this is pretty much it. You'll see that right there, or you might have seen that right there, a full sapling did grow. It dropped its bonsai oak cuttings into the sawmill, and then that's going to go ahead and process those down into sawdust and oak planks. The oak planks are going to go over in this cache on the left. We already have 106, and in fact, we can even put some of our other planks in there as well to free up some more space in our strong boxes. And then finally, all we have to do to really complete this setup is get one more cache for all of the sawdust, which is otherwise going to clog up and you know, stop the sawmill from working. So for that, we just need to get ourselves another redstone server, a little bit more in the way of wood, which we've just put away, but nonetheless, it's nice and easy to get. And that should be pretty much everything, I think, chat. So servo and cache. Nice. And we'll throw that down right about there. It does take up a fair bit of space. And there is, of course, some wasted space kind of like either side of the cloche here, which we might have to, you know, kind of move around to really maximize in terms of space efficiency in the future. But for now, I'm not going to worry about it too much. So now that that's taken care of, the next thing I want to work on is this crusher from Immersive Engineering. The metal press is too weak to do anything to a block this compact. More power is required. So we need to get 8 steel fences, 9 hoppers, 1 redstone engineering block, 10 scaffolding, and 10 light engineering blocks. So, I went back to the trusty calculator here, which I'm getting more and more fond of by the day, and I set up a custom recipe to figure out how much stuff we were going to need in order to make this crusher, because the crusher is a multi-block, and thus you can't just type crusher into JEI. Like this here that I'm using is the crusher projector, which is not, representative. So just as an example here, chat, to kind of show you how I did this. Right now, if I click search recipe, I'm going to go ahead and delete this recipe. So previously we showed you that is this still in here? No, it's not. Okay. So previously, if you wanted to show the calculator how to craft something, you would click on it or press R while hovering over it, and then shift click while the calculator was open, and then you could press the save button, and then the calculator would know how to make that item. So right now, our calculator does know how to make a hopper, and so if I drag the hopper over to this slot, you'll see it requires 5 iron and then 8 wood, because it knows that 8 wood makes a chest, because it knows how to make a chest. If you click the little magnifying glass, this shows you all of the things that we've taught the calculator so far, so these are all the items that we've taught it. Now, if you want to teach it a custom recipe, what you can do is, back at the front here, you can click the new recipe button, and then you have the outcome on the top line here, or outcomes, multiple. We're going to go with the crush projector here. This isn't what we're going to make, but we're going to use this as kind of a stand-in for the actual crusher, because that's the item that the quest book uses here to kind of visualize the crusher. So, new recipe, crusher. How is it made? It's made in a crafting table, so you go ahead and throw that in like that. And then the inputs required are showed in the quest book, and I do have a notepad document here. So we need 8 fences, steel fences. I also have them bookmarked. We need 9 hoppers. We need 1 redstone engineering block. We need 10 scaffolding, and we need 10 light engineering blocks. Right now, these are all set to 1. If you click on them, you can change this to 8, and then tick, and then 9, and then tick, and then 1 for this. It is 10 for this, and 10 for this. And then now if you go ahead and click save, and you go and put the crushing projector into here, you can see that we need 24 steel, 69 iron, 4 redstone, 26 copper, 72 oak wood, or any wood, I guess, plank, and then 40 iron plates, so 109 iron in total. So if you're interested in teaching the system or teaching the calculator how to show you how much of any resource is required to make a multi-block, that's how it's done. Fun fact. You can also use that to, I guess you can use any item as kind of a stand-in for any long craft if you'd like. But nevertheless, now that that's taken care of, I think we do have pretty much everything it takes to make all of this stuff here. We might have to smelt a little bit more of our steel grit here. Thankfully, we do have quite a bit of it lying around, and we should now also have quite a lot of oak wood planks to use as fuel in the smelting process. But other than that, I think we're pretty much there. So we do need 9 hoppers, which again does require all of this wood that we're slowly but surely acquiring. So we'll go ahead and make at least 9 chests. And then using the iron that we already have, we'll go ahead and make the 9 hoppers there. Now, space-wise, the crusher does require a 3x5x3 space, that being kind of 3 wide by 5 long by 3 tall. So it is going to take up like all of this space on this side of our compact machine. So we might have to do some reconfiguring over here. Someone in the Twitch chat did recommend moving this, like putting this here, and then setting the output to the bottom, like that. And that does free up a bit more space here, especially if we are going to start moving, some of our chests and whatnot over to this side of the room. It does also mean that it's probably going to block off our access to the cache, which is super awkward. In fact, what I might do is I might build the crusher kind of here, like this way, as opposed to building it this way, as I originally intended. And so, in that circumstance, what I might do is I might move this water source to here, seeing as it's already being covered by that cache anyway. Like, if we take that and we put that there, we could obviously put anything we want, instead of dirt, where I'm about to put dirt, but for now we're going to put dirt there. And that should allow the accuracy accumulator to continue working. And then this dirt block we could, of course, get rid of when we actually put the crusher down. I think that's probably going to be a better idea. It is going to get real cramped real fast, though. Just a heads up. But anyway, we have the hoppers, which is good. We do need 8 fence, which means we're going to have to make 9 here. And that means we need some steel And the rods, we actually didn't need that much steel, right? It was, what, 24? So we've got 43 in our inventory, so that is fine. I think 2 sets of those is more than enough to get the 3 of those that we need. And then the redstone engineering block, surprisingly easy to make. The steel scaffolding, I think, also does require the rods, so maybe I shouldn't have been so flippant with using them a second ago there. But let's see, how much of this do we get at a time? We get 6 at a time, and we only need 10, so 2 lots of those is, again, more than enough. And then finally, we need 10 of this light engineering block, which also means we need 10 of these mechanical components, which is, of course, where our hammer comes into play. Now, people did ask me in the previous stream, and I haven't checked the YouTube comments, but I'm assuming they will also ask me in the YouTube comments for that video why I am not using the metal press for making plates. Because we can, right? We have the metal press set up in one of our compact machines, and the metal press, of course, is kind of designed to make plates. We have the plate mold on it. You can just take some iron, you can throw that iron onto the thing, and then it will plug the iron into iron plates. The reason that I'm not doing that, outside of its use of power, is that it is unbelievably slow. It's just really, really slow, and so it's a lot quicker, even if a little less efficient, to just make another engineer's hammer and then use that as a way of getting more plates. That's the idea. You clicked off the input for the sawmill? Oh, I totally did. My bad. Thank you for that. There we go. I got confused for a second as to why that was even blue, but that is now fixed. Thank you very much. So what do we need here? We need string, which of course we have in the form of hemp. We might be running low on hemp, because I do keep using it and then not growing any more. In fact, I think we might already... Oh no, we got some right there, actually. It should probably be in the, like, farming chest, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. So we need, what, 40 plates? 40 plates. I wonder if Isaac will have to blow up more iron to get steel today. I don't think so. Simply due to the fact that we got so much steel initially, right? Like, we've got 19 here, we got 2 more here, we got like another stack here, and we got another half stack, or 20 there. So we did get a lot of steel in that previous stream. So I'm hoping the answer is no. We don't have to. But nevertheless, let's go ahead and see if we can't get 40 iron plates here. Go and craft all of those, and then do we have more iron lying about? I don't. At least smelted, that is. It doesn't look like we do, so we might have to... Actually, are we just completely out of iron? I think we are, chat. I think we are completely and utterly fresh out of iron. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of wall smacking, but as people in the YouTube comments and in the Twitch chat constantly remind me, what you can do is you can take the Constantan here, which is made, of course, with copper and nickel. We'll go ahead and make some Constantan ingots, and if you use a Constantan pickaxe, you get 100% iron. So if we look at Constantan, and we look at the pickaxe here, hitting this against a solid compact machine wall nets you 100% iron. So all 275 durability of the Constantan pickaxe goes into iron. And so you can trade, essentially, 3 Constantan ingots for 275 iron ingots, which is very good value. Extremely good value, some would say. And 2 sticks, I guess. But, you know, the 2 sticks, they're not necessarily too meaningful. So, I don't know how fast this is. Not super fast, that's fine. So we can go ahead and just do this. It is also possible, chat, that we might be able to make our strong boxes bigger today as well, because I am looking, or I have been looking, I should say, over here. So we can actually make blaze rods, as again pointed out by the Twitch chat last time, from steel. You can set steel on fire, steel rods on fire with the flint and steel to get blaze rods. You can then turn those blaze rods into blaze powder, turn that blaze powder into lava, and then use that lava to make obsidian, and we can use that obsidian if we wanted to make the reinforced upgrades required for the strong boxes. Now, one of the reasons why I'm not doing that at the start of the stream comes back to the crusher, and that is because once we've made blaze rods, turning it into blaze powder is somewhat inefficient, if you just craft it, right? You can craft 1 blaze rod into 2 blaze powder, but if we make the crusher first, we can turn each of our blaze rods into 4 blaze powder, and also get a chance of getting sulfur dust as well. And the sulfur dust is also going to come in useful in making the TNT, making the gunpowder that allows us to make more steel going forward as well. So it's kind of a win-win all around. All right, so let's go, and we've got 25 of these, which means we just need 15 more plates like so. Beautiful. And then from there, we can just go ahead and hopefully make the 10 of the iron mechanical components, and then go ahead and craft up the 10 light engineering blocks just as soon as we have a little bit more iron. Lovely. All right, so that should be it, chat. I think everything it takes. We have the steel fence, we have the light engineering block, we have the scaffolding, we have the hoppers, and I think that's pretty much everything we need. Now, in the interest of actually getting this right first time, I should go ahead and make the manual here from Immersive Engineering. It requires 1 leather and 1 book. The book, of course, requires 3 paper and 1 leather. I don't think we have any leather right now. We do know how to make the leather. It's made with this pressed off right here, and it does require a little bit of sewerage. Probably more than we have right now, because I think we need even more than just that 1 piece. We do have a little bit of sugarcane already, which is nice, but I think we are going to need even more, because 1 bit of sewerage gets us 1 pressed off, and we need 3 in order to make the leather, and then of course we need more sugarcane after that as well. So what we can do is quickly head on back into our little farming box, which is not this one, it's this one. Now, people always shout at me in the in the YouTube comments whenever I put down sand for sugarcane, which is just a force of habit. I'm well aware that sand does not increase the growth speed of sugarcane, and that you can grow it just as fast on dirt. But I don't know. I have this inbuilt notion that I should be using using sand, and the YouTube comments always roast me for it. So here you go, YouTube comments. I'm using dirt, and that's actually all we need right now. Beautiful. So we'll do this. That's going to get us at least the paper required, and then we just need sewage, which, as you will know, is just a little bit of poop, which we have hiding around somewhere in water. And for now, we might as well do this over in here as well, because we have unlimited water right there. So you and you, beautiful. And I think, chat, that is pretty much everything to get this manual up and running. So boom, boom, and then I think we have a lever. We do indeed. I made one earlier, and then boom and boom. Nice. So inside of this, I believe under heavy machinery and crusher is the crusher that we are looking to build. This multi-block right here. And as mentioned previously, it is 3 by 3 by 5, although it could be 3 by 4 by 5, but I don't think it's 4 tall. Either way, before we can do that, we need to like kind of address our space situation, and not the cool kind of space with the moon and whatnot, the compact kind of space that we are struggling for consistently here. So basically, we just have to move everything from this side of the room over to this side of the room to free up space to actually get our job done here. All right. So outside of this bit of dirt here, which we'll remove, I think at the last moment, because it is the it's got to let the water flow out. We now have the space, almost. So that's not the right item there, Isaac. You are looking for this guy. Let's have a look. Now I believe power does go in the top here, and I think that items come out of the bottom center here. So in general, we do want to try and build it with this side facing like this way, you know, facing towards us as we stand right now. So let's have a look here. How does this look? Please play me the animation. Oh, here we go. So we need 6 light engineering blocks at the back. It is only 3 blocks tall, which is good. Okay, so I think I have a bit of an idea here. So it looks like this, like that. I then think there were another, I think maybe just 2 light engineering blocks in the middle here. I think it was then scaffolding. Here, here, and here. Let's do a quick check on that, make sure we're not doing this incorrectly. Yeah, then the rest of the base is just scaffolding. Like that. We then have basically a ring of fences. First of all, we also have like this and this. We have this in the middle, I think. A ring of fences. And then basically the hopper set on top, I think, is essentially how this works. We have hoppers in all of these pots, or all of these bits right here in this like 3x3 grid. And I think that's pretty much it, chat. Yes, we're good. And so I think all we have to do now is take our engineer's hammer, give this a right click, and kapow, look at that. We have a lovely large crusher. Now, it is a little tricky to navigate. For now, I think we can actually get on top of this. We're not going to want to do this in the future because we can take damage if we actually stand inside of it. But essentially now, if we just run power over to there, we are pretty much good to go. We do run into a bit of an issue with this, although I'm pretty sure all we have to do to fix that issue is move one of these chests, because these are awkward anyway. But if we just put a chest here, that should serve a dual purpose of stopping the water from flowing and also receiving anything that comes out of the crusher. So let's have a look, shall we? What do we need to crush first? That's a good question. I actually don't think we have anything like right away that needs crushing. We do need to crush small compact machines if we're going to make the next, normal compact machine. But I think for now, it's maybe time to pivot over and try and get our first bits of obsidian. It also might not be a terrible idea, chat, to look into making another one of these 5x5 rooms, because as you can clearly see, this 5x5 room here is a wee bit cramped. Yes, I think we will take a look at this section of the quest book here. So first things first, one blaze rod. The blaze rod, as shown earlier, is one steel rod lit by a flint and steel for 60 ticks. 60 ticks is just 3 seconds, so not too long whatsoever. And in fact, we do have both the ingredients required to make a flint and steel right out of the bat here. I don't think anything in our immediate vicinity is too flammable. And so I think what we can do is just go ahead and light this. I don't know if you can do multiple at once, so I'm going to drop 2 here. Thankfully, they don't burn right away, which is lovely. And you'll see that that's turned into blaze rods. Nice. So we'll go ahead and crush these, I think, in the old crusher. At least one of them. And we should hopefully see that blaze powder in here. We didn't get any sulfur that time, but that's fine. Go for one more, shall we? Sulfur? Sulfur, nice. Okay, cool. So that also makes life easier as well, because previously the way we got sulfur was through sifting dust, and it took us quite a long time, which made getting gunpowder difficult, which made getting TNT difficult, which made getting steel difficult because we have to blow up iron to get steel. But now that we have the Constantan pickaxe, so we can get as much iron as we like, fairly easily, and on top of the fact that we also have an easier way of getting sulfur and therefore an easier way of getting TNT, getting steel in the future really shouldn't be all that difficult for us. So next up on the list here, or partially next up on the list, is this guy, the Squeezer. This item can squeeze things when jumped on. It can even squeeze lava from blaze powder. You need more room vertically than just 3. Maybe that dark bedrock room you started in is perfect. Notice the 2 channels on the Squeezer. They need to start point to the crucible. They need to point to the crucible. I can't read. Use a redstone signal, for example, a lever, to reset the Squeezer. Now, I assume a button will work in terms of a redstone signal. I don't know why I'm looking in there when my wood is over here. So essentially, let's have a quick look at the actual recipe for the Squeezer here. This requires just 1 block of iron, 1 iron ingot, and then some sticks and some planks. Not a particularly difficult recipe whatsoever, so long as you have enough iron, which I think we should. I'm going to move this maybe like there. That's not accessible either, Isaac. I guess maybe like here. We can still get into that box, so that's fine. Yeah, it's a little tight, chat. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little tight. Is that iron in here? It is. We also have steel, that's good. We'll take the iron for now, we'll craft up our block of iron, and then we should be able to throw one of those together. So I believe it's a little janky, but if we, gosh, I'm gonna move into one of the other rooms, I think, here, because we're getting a little tight on space. So we have our blaze powder. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I don't think that you can take the lava out of the Squeezer easily. Do we need to have a tank? So, apparently, I'm being told by my informants in the Twitch chat that if we're looking to make obsidian, which is the plan, that we just need to make a stone barrel, because the Squeezer will automatically output into that stone barrel if we place it next to it. So for that, we just need a little bit of stone, which we might already have. I know we did make some stone for these stone brick slabs earlier, although it's also quite plausible that we just have to get a little bit more cobblestone here. Now, I have somewhat changed my tune on using gold pickaxes. I am now very much in favor of using the gold pickaxes to get cobblestone, because they are very fast. And I don't know if you've noticed, but in this chest here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5 stacks of golden dust sitting around, clogging up our inventory. So I'm very much so a fan of just doing this, and then maybe one more here, because you don't get much cobblestone each time, but it's nice and fast, and it gets you a good amount of stone pebbles, which you can then craft. You know, is 6 gold worth 11 cobblestone in a normal world? Definitely not. In this bizarre world that we find ourselves in, apparently so. Apparently so. So let's go ahead and smelt that up, shall we? And again, we'll split it across multiple furnaces here. Boom. And so now, I'm going to move over into one of our other more spacious accommodations. I think we'll do it in the farming area for now. I can't do it in the farming area because we need space, you fool. Okay, now instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to move some of my chests for a second, because as the quest book pointed out, you need more than a 3 high area within which to do your work. So we're going to have to put the stone barrel here, the squeezer here, and then we can put the blaze powder in the squeezer by just right-clicking. You'll see it's now in there. And then all you have to do is just jump on this squeezer. This is why we can't do it in the 3x3 room. But then after a couple of jumps, the lava is made and it's automatically pushed over into the stone barrel. Beautiful. You then do need the button, which I'm going to put there to reset the squeezer. And then, reset. Make sure you put the blaze powder in, Isaac, otherwise it will do absolutely nothing. And then once we got the lava here, though, chat, we could just head on through once again to our little farming room. And I'm kind of losing track of where everything is right now, but that's okay. And boom, we have obsidian. You just put the water block over the stone barrel, and obsidian is made. I think that's also potentially a quest. Oh, to hell and back. You really thought I'd give you vacation in hell. Think again. You have this cake while you're at it. Oh, okay. So I'm assuming that there is no nether. Hence the to hell and back quest. Presumably. That makes some sense. And also, now that we have the obsidian, we can of course look at making our first reinforced upgrade kit, which requires 4 electrum, 1 silver gear, and 2 hardened glass. The hardened glass was the part of the equation that we couldn't make before. And to make hardened glass, we do need to make an induction smelter if we want to do it, I think, efficiently. And also, you've got to make sure you click the right one. This one right here. You can do it without, but you need blazing pyrotheum, which right now, I guess we could make, but I'm kind of quite protective of the sulfur that we have, and the induction smelter really isn't that hard to make. But if we make an induction smelter, we can then turn 4 crushed obsidian and 1 lead into 2 hardened glass. And as it turns out, if you put 1 obsidian into the crusher and let it do its job, it should poop out 4 pulverized obsidian, or 4 crushed obsidian, which we can then use to make 2 hardened glass, and then use to make 1 reinforced upgrade kit. And so essentially, we can turn 2 steel rods into, well, 1 steel rod into 1 blaze rod, which turns into 4 blaze powder, which turns into 1 bucket of lava. So 1 steel rod equals 1 bucket of lava, 1 steel rod equals 1 obsidian, and then from there we can go ahead and combine that with lead to make our hardened glass. So we really just need like 3 more steel rods, and we've got enough to upgrade all of these to the next tier, which is going to hopefully significantly reduce the amount of space that we have to allocate to storage, and just give us a lot more space to work with it.